Good morning, members of council and staff. Could I have you take your seats, please? We have 16 in the room. I'll call this council meeting for Wednesday, October 23rd to order. Please feel free to join me in a moment of personal reflection. Thank you. The region of Durham exists on lands that the Mississauga and Anishinaabeg inhabited for thousands of years prior to European colonization. These lands are the traditional and treaty territories of the nations covered under the Williams Treaties, including the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, Alderville First Nations, Hiawatha First Nations, Curve Lake First Nation, and the Chippewa Nations of Georgina Island, Beausoleil, and Rama. We honor, recognize, and respect the Indigenous peoples as right holders and stewards of the lands and waters on which we have the privilege to live. In an efforts towards reconciliation, we continue to build and strengthen relationships with First Nations, as well as the large Métis communities and growing Inuit communities here in Durham. We commit to learning from Indigenous values and knowledge, building opportunities for collaboration, and recognizing that we're all connected. Members of council, you are invited to attend the strategic plan open house happening between 11 and 2 today outside the council chambers. Please take some time to visit the display boards to review the draft 2025 strategic plan and provide any comments to staff representatives. Staff are also hosting a second open house this evening at regional headquarters, and you can drop by anytime between 6 and 8. For those in the north, the strategic plan open house will be happening tomorrow, October 24th, at the Scugog Community Recreation Center in Port Perry. Please feel free to drop by anytime between 6 and 8 p.m. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, could you please do a roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Electronic roll call is starting now.
Okay. We have quorum. Members of council, declarations of pecuniary interest. I see none in the room, Mr. Clerk. Online? None? Okay, we will move on. Could I have someone move 4.1 to 4.4? They're all minutes. Moved by Mayor Carter, seconded by Councillor Shahid. On the minutes, any polls? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, I'm going to call the vote on all 4 sets of minutes. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. There are no presentations. There are no delegations. There are no items of correspondence. There are no reports related to delegations and presentations. We'll move on to committee reports. First committee report is Finance and Administration. We have none. Health and Social Services, you'll find that in your agenda on page 44. So just give me 1 second. The recommendations contained in item 1 of report number 7 in Health and Social Services be adopted. Moved by Mayor Roy, seconded by Councillor Dias. The report has been moved. It's on the floor. Councillor Neal, on the report. Councillor Neal.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. In regards to this report, it's the CWELCC centers. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's in regard to the daycare. Okay. I guess there was a large contingent that showed up at the Queen's Park yesterday in regards to this, as some daycare centers are worried about whether they'll be able to carry on with their quality of daycare for the children. So I'm just I know there's one in my ward, and I sent a letter. I passed a letter on from the center that I have in Columbus to staff. I was wondering if staff had a comment regards to what the letter stated from the constituent and her concerns. Through you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'll go to Commissioner. Oh, your microphone, sorry.
Sorry about that. Through the chair, thank you for your question, Councillor Neal. I have Director Julie Gaskin, who will step in and answer your question, as she has been meeting with our for-profit childcare providers and supporting them through this process. So, Julie, would you like to respond?
Thank you. Thank you, Stella. Thank you for the question, Councillor Neal. Yes, we have been in many discussions with our childcare operators. The CWELCC system rolled out in 2022, and there's big changes coming for 2025. We are working with the licensees to make sure that they're going to make sure that their costs are covered, any eligible costs for providing care. There have been some of the for-profit operator groups coming together to protest some of the pieces of the CWELCC program, most specifically the profit caps that will be placed on childcare operators. There is going to be a cap of up to 7.75%, where licensees can make that much as a profit or a surplus. Many licensees in the for-profit community are concerned with that cap and are advocating to the province about that, as well as caps on expansion for commercial and nonprofit. There, we have caps to that effect on expanding the CWELCC program. In Durham Region, however, those nonprofit commercial caps aren't impacting our ability to expand, but in some municipalities in the province, they are. So we are working with our licensees. We have had no licensees close their doors yesterday. I know that there was some discussion that may happen. Our licensees have been working really closely with my team and have been bringing their questions to us. And we firmly believe that we can support the implementation of this program, so where no licensee is going to be in a difficult situation and that their costs for providing care will be covered. There will be an additional CIP report that will be going in. You'll see that in your package next week. And I'd be happy to bring more information if you have questions from that report as well, or you can reach out to me directly. Thank you.
Councillor Neal?
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And I appreciate you also reaching out to the resident or the residents that are impacted, because it's not just Oshawa. I have a big contingent from Brooklyn over in Whitby that's using this daycare as one of, not just a local impact in regards to this. And they're concerned. I don't want to see parents left without, if something drastic happens or quality of care declines. So that's my main concern. And I think it's the residents, the parents' main concern as well. Now, what power does the region have in regard to this, or is it all provincial? Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Councillor Neal. Yes, through the chair, we are following the guidelines that are outlined by the province. The CWELCC program is a federal provincial agreement. So the federal government sets out specific criteria, and that's across Canada. And then each province has puts their own flavor on it. In Ontario, we have service system managers, which are municipalities. So we are doing the implementation work of the CWELCC program and have been working really closely with the province to make sure that this funding model really is supportive and transparent and as easy as it can be. It is fairly complex when you get digging into it, but as we work through it, we are using the small amount of leverage that we have to make sure that we're supporting our operators as best we can. But in all reality, this is a provincially mandated program, and we are required by the province to fulfill that mandate as the service system manager.
So, through you, Mr. Chair, if we approve this report today, what happens? Like, does it go back to the province, or like, where does the region stand? Like, is this just saying we agree to the regulations, or is there an opt-in, opt-out still, or for some daycare, is there some way a conversation can be carried on other than what you mentioned that's coming forward later at the region? What would be the synopsis on that? Thank you.
Commissioner?
Through the chair, the purpose of this report is to get approval from our council to receive the funding so that we can proceed with supporting the childcare system.
The ones that have opted.
Into the
guess.
CWELCC program. That's correct. However, I should mention,
And the
Councillor
ones that-
Neal, that Julie Gaskin and myself do sit at all sorts of tables with the province. Julie's on a technical table working very closely with the other service managers and the provincial leads to really unpack any issues with this program. And, we could say that where we are today is one of the best case scenarios that have been presented to us in the past. So we are working through this.
Okay, thanks, Commissioner. I appreciate everything you can do in contact with the residents as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Chapman?
Thank you, Chair. Just for some clarity, Commissioner, this is to be spent in accordance with the 2024 guidelines, correct?
Through the chair, yes, that's correct.
And the guidelines that are being proposed to change starts the 1st of January 2025.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
there's still time for you and Julie to advocate on behalf of these centers for the benefit of Durham residents, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So seeing no other questions, I'll call for the vote on this item. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. There are there's nothing for planning and economic development, so we'll move on to works. That the recommendations contained in item 1, report number 7 of Works Committee be adopted, moved by Mayor Barton, seconded by Councillor Marin Pietri. Polls? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, we'll move on to the Committee of the Whole reports. I'll need a mover and a seconder. So moved by Councillor Chapman, seconded by Councillor Crawford. If you're going to move both items? There are all of them. Okay. All right. Just give me 1 second. So that all items have been moved by Councillor Chapman and seconded by Councillor Crawford on all of them. Councillor Crawford? Okay, thank you. Polls, Councillor Neal? Councillor Neal?
Yeah, I had a question to Works Committee, but I guess questions to Works, so I guess you didn't see when I hit my button, so I have a question to Works.
Yeah, sorry, Councillor Neal, we're in the middle of something else right now.
That's fine.
Thank you. Councillor Chapman, item number 1 of the Cal report must be pulled for a minor amendment. So I'll have that, just pull that one. Okay, thank you. Mr. Clerk, all items have been moved. We're pulling item 1. On the remainder, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none. Mayor Barton, you have an amendment to item 1?
Yes, I do, Mr. Chair. Just a change for the Seaton acreage pieces. One change from 160 hectares from 125 and 396 from 310. The clerk has it, and it's now on the screen. Wow, that magically appeared.
Okay, it's on on your screens, and I know that it's, when you, says Counselor Ash. Do we have Counselor?
And
Mayor Ash
he's
online?
ready to second.
So he's on, so it's been properly moved. Mayor Ash is online. Questions to the amendment? Seeing none? On the amendment, we'll call, oh, on the amendment, Mayor Collier.
Thank you, Chair. Just where exactly is this? Do we have a map that we can put up? Sorry, is this the first
Yeah,
time I've seen this? so-
Sorry, the clerk doesn't have the ability to pull the map up at this time.
Well, I mean, it's,
But we can have the Commissioner of Works.
yeah,
um,
please.
Commissioner, would you be able to give us an idea where this is, please?
Yeah, so it's the attachment to the report through the chair, and it's around Highway 7 and North Street. You would see a polygon that's adding to the existing employment lands that was the Phase 1 agreement.
Okay, so this is, and again, I looked at this a few days ago. This is not part of Northeast Pickering. This is further to the west, lands that are already approved, already part of the regional official plan approved section, just expanding the boundary slightly.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, seeing no other questions on the amendment, I'll call the vote. All those in favor of the amendment? In opposition? Seeing none. On the main motion as amended, all those in favor? All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. Members of council, that moves us on to departmental reports. Just give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. Okay, the first departmental report, item 9.1, can be found on page 54 of your agenda. It's the Enterprise Data Backup and Recovery System. Could I get a mover and a seconder to get this item onto the floor, please? Moved by Councillor Crawford, seconded by Councillor Kerr. The item is now on the floor. Questions? Online? Seeing none, then I will call the vote on the item as recommended. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. We'll move on to Report 2024 SS12. It's located on page 58. So it's been moved by Councillor Chapman, seconded by Councillor Pickles. The item is now on the recommendation for the detailed design services for the unbudgeted redevelopment of the Durham Regional Local Housing Corporation property at 409 Center Street in Whitby is on the floor. Questions? Seeing none, we'll call the vote then. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. 9.3 is a confidential document from the Commissioner of Corporate Services. Is there any need to go into closed session? Mr. Clerk, I see no member of council or online. In that case, on the recommendation, I'm going to call the vote. All right. Oh, I need a mover and a seconder. Thank you. So moved by Councillor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Garrard. The item is now on the floor. We'll call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, none online, that carries. Okay. Notice of motions, there are none. Unfinished business. There are none. Councillor Neal, you had a question related to works. Now is your time to ask it. Councillor Neal?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. There was something in the media about Toronto's water meters. I wonder if the Commissioner of Works had looked into
Councillor Neal, you're frozen. Councillor Neal, your screen's frozen.
their situation that gets to do with Toronto. If our water meters should.
Councillor Neal, we lost all that.
All right.
You froze during you were trying to explain what you wanted. You froze, so we didn't get any of it.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. You're frozen, Councillor Neal. I think what he's trying
Okay. There
is the Toronto issue going to
was
affect?
Through you, the chair, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know the question, not because I heard, because I did get this email yesterday. It was an article in the Toronto Star or CBC about some of the water meters and the radio transmitters not working properly, but that's a totally different supplier. But having said that, we have reached out to Neptune just to understand, if that can ever happen to us. But I think it's the age of that infrastructure and a different company. At this point, I have no reason to believe we are equally impacted, but we are checking with Neptune. Thank you.
Councillor Neal, did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Mayor Barton, you have the bylaws. Oh, sorry, we're going to do announcements next. Okay, thank you. First, okay, you'll have to push your button, Councillor McCaughey. Councillor Nicholson,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me?
we can hear you.
Yes. First of all, I just wanted to publicly thank the members of council for the birthday wishes they sent me yesterday as I celebrated my 65th birthday. I was feeling a little depressed as I'm now officially old. But I got an email from a constituent who said I should not be depressed because 65 is the new 64. So I felt so much better.
Well, happy birthday, and thank you for the announcement. Councillor Chapman.
Well, I'm sure it goes without saying, everybody knows Remembrance Day is coming up, and officially the period of Remembrance Week, we in Oshawa raised the flag on the last Friday in October, which is this Friday, by the way, because of the weird calendar. But I just wanted to make mention, the reason some of us are wearing poppies today is because at the beginning of this week is when they start the celebrations with those veterans that are in care centers, such as Sunnybrook Veterans Wing yesterday. So I'm sure everybody will be out on Remembrance Day, and there's lots of activities going on between now and then. Of course, the Oshawa Remembrance Parade starts at 10:30 from the Armories in Oshawa, and at 11 o'clock exactly, we have last post. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Chapman, and we are doing a poppy flag raising ceremony here at the region as well. Councillor McCaughey.
Thank you. I would like to announce that Ontario Big City Mayors made a very wise choice in electing Mayor Elizabeth Roy as their new secretary on their executive committee. Congratulations, Mayor Roy.
Congratulations. Okay, are there any other announcements? Mr. Clerk, seeing none. Councillor Jubb, sorry, it just popped up on my screen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to take the opportunity to welcome all colleagues and the public to Canington for this weekend. It is the Canington Haunted Trail. I did go last week, and it's definitely worth checking out. So looking forward to seeing everyone. Thank you. How much does it cost? It is... No, it isn't. It isn't. But if you come up, Mayor Carter, I'll pay for you. How's that?
Okay, and I did see another, something pop up my screen and then it disappeared. Okay, push your button again, please. Yep. Mayor Barton.
All right, so this is for bylaws.
Well, I will take that as an announcement too then. How's
Okay, so I'm going to announce that I have the bylaws today. So moved by Mayor Barton, seconded by Mayor Carter, that bylaws number 2024-043 to 2024-047 inclusive be passed.
Okay, bylaws are on the floor. Seeing no hands, call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, none online, that carries. Next is the confirming bylaw. Mayor Barton.
Sounds good. Again, I will be announcing that moved by Mayor Barton, seconded by Mayor Carter, that bylaw number 2024-048, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of Council for the Regional Municipality of Durham at their meeting held on the 23rd day of October 2024 be passed.
Okay, on the confirming bylaw. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. Mr. Clerk, that is the business for the day. So the last thing left is adjournment. So Councillor McDougall, moved by Councillor McDougall, seconded by Councillor Kerr. On adjournment, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. Members of council, please take the opportunity to visit the staff presentations in the hallway, and have a wonderful, safe day. And thank you to staff for all the work that you've done today. Thank you.